Ty.
Hey.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I didn't do it.
Bastard! You did this! He's going to say what he wants to say.
Wait.
Stop yelling at me.
Hey, here's the worst part.
I didn't do
You ready
anything.
for the worst part? When you left, it was game ball and game bums.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did was I got rid of all the outside stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give a game boy to my boy. Because how he handled the Oscar De La Hoya interview was class act.
Thank you.
He got his, he got his point. I didn't want him to ask about, Canelo, because I just, I didn't want it to get all, contentious or whatever.
I'm not a contentious guy.
He smoothly went into it. Oscar De La Hoya was very forthcoming, maybe told a couple of whoppers, but that's okay.
Oh, he told me.
And I was highly impressed with the back and forth over a very fragile topic.
Yeah.
Less than 48 hours later, I get a text. Your boy at it again. What are you doing?
I didn't do anything, dude.
Wait,
I didn't do anything.
Marco.
I didn't do anything. What are you doing? I didn't ask him what he was going to say. What was the whole point of the question?
It was
He's
less than an hour.
Man.
You're a chatty.
Less than an hour of me giving you a game ball. You blew it. You ruined it.
Everybody thinks that I have just started the divorce of the Miami Heat. Everyone's yelling at me. I didn't do anything. Stop. Like, it's not fair. I didn't do anything.
First of all, let's be clear.
Chatty Patty.
What?
You're a chatty patty.
Is that what it is?
Let's be clear.
Chatty Patty Mills?
Let's be clear. The question that was asked probably didn't matter, because if you know, hold on, let me finish. You don't say nothing. You don't say nothing. If anybody knows Pat, you could say, the weather is nice outside, Pat. And he would say, if we could just get some of our guys to play more games. He was going to say what he had to say anyway.
Exactly.
But here's the kicker. He didn't need a match and lighter fluid.
That's not what?
To get it going quicker.
I didn't know that was going to. I would have thought Pat Riley doesn't watch like Rock the Bells on Twitter. This man sees everything.
Wait, you don't think he was ready to talk about that topic when he said, when he says his star player need to shut up? Huh?
Read the room, Tobin.
Read the room. It's right.
He was pissed the whole time. I just want to be clear to Jimmy Butler. You can say whatever you want. I mean, I just want to you can say whatever you want. I just want to be clear on that. I don't want you to go, please.
Wait. The only thing that he didn't say was, I'd be damned if my star player is not playing in a basketball game because he hurt. And there's a commercial during the break of him riding a damn horse. Right.
I mean, he was in a
wait. Does that have? That has to eat at Pat Riley because he's old school.
Do I think that Pat Riley loves the fact that Jimmy Butler was in as many commercials as missed games this year? No, I don't think he loves that. I don't think he loves that. Especially.
And here's the problem. Here's how old school coaches think. They don't know when this was filmed. They don't know what was going on at the time of filming. Right? All they know is my guy is sitting on the bench because he can't play, and I'm watching him on horse. That's all they think of. And they think we should be paying more attention to basketball. And it don't matter what you're doing. I had a coach tell me that. Coach tell me my head wasn't in the game because I went golfing after practice on Friday. I'm like, really? Right? And that's just the way some coaches think. And that's the way Pat Riley thinks. That being said, if Jimmy is in another uniform next year.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that.
You will.
No, that's not fair.
No. I'm just calling it like I see it.
Why? That's not fair. They have their own relationship and issues that had nothing to do with what I said. I didn't even ask anything about it. Why?
Absolutely.
I also said this, though, yesterday.
Fair.
Tobes, I also said this yesterday. You know how he treated D Wade?
Mm-hmm.
That's D Wade.
I know.
Ain't nobody up there with D Wade. And he treated him that way. So, based on what he said about Jimmy, what do you think he'll do to Jimmy?
I don't think he wants to do anything to Jimmy. I think he wants Jimmy less antics, more basketball. I think that's what he wants.
But one has nothing to do with the other.
Tell that to him.
He's old school.
Tell that to him, dude. I don't care.
The other thing, since we talking about this damn press,
the last time here's the thing that's upsetting to me is like my question did bring up the Jimmy Butler comments, which was the lead into my question. But my bigger point to the question was, hey, you watched that series. Did you feel like the gulf between you and Boston, or that Jimmy and Terry would have helped? And
if that's what you wanted to ask, then ask it.
Wait. Retrospect over here.
Maybe I could have done a different.
I would like to call controversy. I would like to call fraud. And
no, don't say that.
Because and listen, you tried to semantic samurai Pat Riley.
I wasn't trying to do it.
Wait a minute. If that's what you wanted to know, why didn't you ask that question? Why did you have to have setup?
Because his star player was of the opinion that if he was there, the team would be home. I wanted to know if the president had the same opinion.
So is Wild Heat Coyote every series that goes Heat and 5.
Well, no, I'm not. Stop. This is not fair.
You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
Everybody,
because you're saying, here's what you're saying.
I'm getting harassed.
You're saying that was the lead into my question, but you know what you were doing.
I didn't know what I was doing, dude.
You know what you were doing. You know what you were doing, because if that's not what you wanted, did you want to answer for the second part, or did you want a response for the first part? Because you could have said, wait. You could have did it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, you know, I know it's frustrating that the season ended the way you did, but how far, you know, if you have Terry Rozier and Jimmy Butler, how far is the distance between you and Boston? Because
that's
Jimmy,
Leroy,
huh?
That's the question right
Here's
there.
The thing, though.
And then he responds and he says, and then I say, because Jimmy felt the same way.
Here's the thing, though. Not the last time I asked a Pat Riley press conference question. I've interviewed, I've got an interview Pat Riley one-on-one. I've talked to Pat Riley a few times, handful of questions here and there, right? But the last time I asked him a question of that ilk, that also made national headlines because he said, there's always going to be that asterisk. Then he had to come out with a statement about it saying, well, the asterisk is only on the. So I didn't want to go that full direction.
And asking in the creepy interview voice made it worse.
What's wrong with my interview voice?
No,
you guys want me out there like,
wait. You almost did it like a CI, like a snitch. Hey, Pat.
That's not true, dude.
You know what Jimmy said?
That is what he said. He said what he said.
I'm not sure if you heard what Jimmy said, Pat. But...
Yeah. Oh, my God. Now, here's the deal. Okay. All that being said, Pat had every right to be upset as an organization about his guys not playing.
Yes.
Here's the only problem I had with him. It is clear that every time Tyler Hero comes off the bench, he comes in with a different energy. Right? Thus making him more productive and the team more productive coming off the bench. To just all of a sudden acknowledge that he is a starter while calling him fragile.
By the way, I misheard. I thought that he said star when he said that. I was like, wait,
he said starter.
He said starter, which kind of I would rather you call him a star than a starter. Like you don't have to put flat out. Oh no, he's a starter.
But here's the deal. You call him a starter and then call him fragile, which means you already starting the season with 4.
We know. Listen, your first reaction is your reaction. You called him fragile.
He's not right. I know. Wait. Is he not?
No.
And then let's think of this.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in that position that everybody had been waiting for him to be in for all year, saying, oh, when Tyler gets back, he's going to be that dude. He wasn't.
Nope.
So how do you, if you're Pat Riley, how do you look at that?
I think you're annoyed. I mean, the biggest part of his press conference yesterday was player availability.
And then the first thing when he read that, because we getting, Frog Boy did an excellent job of getting us to report.
Thank you.
And
I was reading tweets live.
Tweets live. And here's what I took from that. Nobody wanted Tyler Hero. Nobody in the NBA who wanted to deal or work a trade or try to work something out with the Miami Heat wanted Tyler Hero.
Right.
They wanted anybody else.
Well, it's the biggest. I mean, we all throughout the year, the biggest question about this team, because they were going to run it back, was what was that guy going to be? I know what Jimmy Butler can be at the highest level. I know Bam can succeed at the highest level.
The only person we know for sure right now is Bam. So let's stop.
Fine. You can say stop now. Jimmy Butler, Leroy, whatever you want to say. The guy has been an amazing. Leroy. Okay. His MCL wasn't there at the end of the season. No. He has been more than any other player here, has been their best playoff player. Pat Riley yesterday said he's our biggest needle mover. Even with as pissed as he was, said that. The biggest question on the team, bar none, is Tyler Hero, and still remains not really the biggest question anymore, but honestly, the biggest concern, because you have a monster chunk of your salary cap dealt to him. And by the way, noticed him yesterday with his little busy Twitter thumbs, liking things on Twitter, calling him a starter. Didn't seem to, have any notice of, what I was also called fragile.
Right.
It's like he lives in Delusionville.
You got to do that.
Does he?
Yes.
Really?
Because can I just say one thing about an athlete? You only got to BS one person, and that's the pocket you sitting on. If you can trick yourself into being that dude, you'll be that dude. Right?
What? No, you won't. That's what Philly Cheese thought.
Whether you are or not, you have to believe it.
Side.
Whether you are or not, you have to believe it.
Oh, please.
Okay. You show me an athlete that lacks confidence.
Dude, Alec Ingold can't be Raheem Mostert.
They play different positions.
You know what I mean, dude. At one point, Alec Ingold was tearing it up. No. I'm sure there was at some point in his life, he's like,
he wasn't running. He didn't have a 100 and 200-yard game.
Sure, whatever high school he went to, that dude probably
was always a fullback.
No, that's not true, dude. I bet you at one point Alec Ingold was like Mr. Montana. I don't know where he's from, but I'm sure that he was like killing.
Hey, you think maybe we typecasting here? Damn. Mr. Montana.
I'm very scared right now.
Where's Alec Ingold from? That the fraudulent.
Well, he wasn't really necessarily too wrong on that. Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh.
Vindicated. Can I tell you though? Quarterback.
Oh,
and leading rusher. He was good. Wow.
Hey, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. And when you say somebody has been the best playoff player, okay? And I say this all the time, and it's not a knock on the player. It's not a knock, but you're making assumptions that they're going to keep doing it. And at some point, they're not. That's just the nature of sports. So as Pat Riley looks at it, right? He has to either hope that Jimmy gets it going again or make some adjustments in case he doesn't. And that's just the nature of sports. That's not a knock on Jimmy. That's not a knock on anybody. But that's the reality of sports. You want to see a team go bad quickly? Keep hoping that your players are going to do the things you hope they can do. You can't run your franchise like that.
Okay, but can people just stop yelling at me?
You earned it!
Why? You did this! Oh, everybody's so mad at me.
You did this!
People are calling me up on my personal phone, breathing on the other end.
You gave all of South Florida your number.
That's right.
I'm getting harassed over this.
You should.
Yeah.
And then here's what makes it worse.
That's not what I sound like, dude.
Jimmy said that if he was playing and Terry Rozier was playing, they would have dominated. Well, what, do you think that that's true?
I love that everybody thinks they're supposed to go into these press conferences making whale noises to Pat Riley.
Okay, you don't have to make whale noises, but here's your question. You ready?
Sure.
Pat, do you think there needs to be substantial changes?
Somebody asked that already.
Okay.
You know, Leroy, I'm not the only one there.
Here's what I see going on in the rest of the league that's not happening here.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the league, the people that are still playing are all huge. Their whole team is huge.
Well, I'll tell you what.
So if you keep going into these series with ants, okay.
Unless it's Ant-Man.
It ain't. Who's also huge.
He's not that huge.
What?
He's 6'4".
Okay, other than the 40-inch vertical.
Okay, but he's not. Hey, is he the greatest athlete in the league? Very much so, but he's not huge.
Oh, okay, you got one of those?
No.
Okay. Look at what's going on in the league. Do you have a Brunson?
A Brunson? You mean a flop merchant?
No, I'm talking about 44 straight games.
What the hell was the end of that game yesterday?
I'm talking about 40. I'm talking about 44 straight games.
I never want to see Ben Stiller tweet about the refs again.
Again, I'm talking 44 straight games.
I think Jimmy Butler actually has the most 35-point playoff games in the last, I think, 5 years or something like that.
Oh, we can lower the number so it works for you.
Okay, well, I mean, Jalen Brunson hasn't been in the playoffs in the last 5 years. I'm not lowering the number. Like
right.
He has he has
he has a lot of games. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
So
nobody in the history of
basketball you can't erase his resume.
You're missing my point. You think that every time I say something moving forward is a knock on Jimmy. It is not. But you live in a different world than I live in, because you think that as soon as Jimmy is healthy at 35 plus years old, he just going to pick up where he left off.
No, obviously, look, it's an obvious concern at his age. I mean, there's only one.
Okay, that's my point.
But
you're making assumptions that, okay, when Jimmy gets back, he's going to be that 35-point a game guy.
He said that. That was my whole point, which is why it was the lead into my question to get to my question. And then Pat Riley told him to shut up.
Can at any point in time, is reason? Never mind. No, you know what? Never mind. The word Tobin and reason don't even. It's like a different language.
Take a break. Plenty to get to here on the show. Stop yelling at me. Back after this. Oh my God. Oh no. Stephen A.
Wow, I'm both ESPNs right now.
Stephen A. is gonna say, like, my sources are telling me Jimmy is not happy.
Oh man. Yesterday, May 6th.
Now, question.
Yeah.
And this is what Pat Riley said, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Before the season, he had conversations with Jimmy's representatives.
He did. He said he did reveal that was to me, honestly,
and I think that's why we are where we are.
That was the juiciest, I thought, the most juicy reveal of the entire thing, because Ira had asked.
This isn't a all of a sudden thought out of Pat Riley.
No, it's not, because it's been a thing with Jimmy's. It's been a thing with Jimmy the entire time, And he was asked about that by Ira. Ira was asking about the contract or their stipulations, and he goes, "Damage is done, my friend. Already been there with this whole
Any internal thought of approaching Jimmy with X amount of games in mind? And how did you feel this season, just when I believe the third game of the season was missed for rest? There were illness times when he missed games. Can you just let us know how you feel about those moments? I know in the moment you stay, out of the picture because Spo is coaching, but now after the fact, how did you feel at those moments to see the missed time, sometimes in crucial games?
That was discussed prior to last year. We had a discussion with his agent about that. That was discussed thoroughly. And so there's a gray area during the regular season. And as I mentioned, as far as, what changes is that, when it comes to player availability, I'm just going to, go on a little bit out of the box here. This whole injury reporting stuff that we have to do night in and night out, day in and day out, Tim, and, getting the accurate things. I can remember there was a time when we never reported any injuries because you then became a target. If I was coaching against somebody who had a bad shoulder, I'm going to run them off picks all the time. If I'm somebody that's coaching against somebody who's got a sprained wrist, hard fouls on that wrist. I mean, it's just, so we never like to talk about injuries because we felt, one, it's an excuse, and two, that why give the opposition the ability to possibly re-injure a guy who's playing hurt, so, from that standpoint. I don't understand the 65-game rule. I really don't. I know it. I know why they did it, but I don't understand why they said it's okay to miss. At least they're auto-suggesting to the players and agent, it's okay to miss, 17 games. And to me, that sends a message that it's okay to take a little more time, maybe to get to be 100%, when nobody in this league is 100%. Nobody is. And then there's the injured players. The guys who really are hurt and debilitated, and they take a long time to recover. So that was discussed, Ira, but I won't tell you what came out of the meeting. That was
nothing.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we know what came out of the meeting. Jimmy Butler still missed a lot of games. By the way, Ira did speak to Bernie Lee after this press conference and Jimmy's agent.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, quote, taking issue in games in which he played is just not reality. Bernie Lee said to the South Florida Sun Sentinel by phone when contacted shortly after Riley concluded his media session. Quote, this past season, we had a conversation at the start of the year, just with some things, just with some of the changes, the rule changes in the NBA, the priority that was to be placed upon to participate in every game that he was physically able to participate in for. And I can tell you that he lived up to that commitment. Jimmy missed 22 games this past year for a mix of personal reasons and injury. If there was a game on the schedule that Jimmy was healthy enough to participate in, he did that. He played in a number of back-to-backs with and it was of the utmost priority to him that he did everything he can to be available. Then he goes into dives into some numbers about all the minutes that he played. He did a good job, this agent. He brought the research.
Okay. That being said, okay, he played 50 games.
60 games.
This year he played 60 games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He played, 60 games. You're right, 22 games, 60 games. He played 60 games. If they feel that he played every game that he was able to play, that's fine. But then you're going to ask Pat Riley, who has a problem with that, to give him an additional year for $60 million.
At 37.
At 37. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can have all the reasoning in the world, but the people that are paying you just have a bottom line. And if you've already emphasized the most important thing to him at this moment is availability, then you can't go ask that man for an extension.
You're going into a situation where, yes, no one's here debating with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has been a warrior for the Heat, played on a hurt MCL. He played, very shorthanded in a finals. He played very banged up in an Eastern Conference Finals, winning Game 6 and scored 47 points. And nobody's doubting all that. But it is one of these things where you got to look around the league, and this whole maintenance program thing that has been going on, man, none of those teams are succeeding anymore, dude. It's all the young teams. There's what was the stat the other day that was put out, Marcos? That there's only 8 players born in the 80s that are even left in the playoffs, and 2 of them are the Morris twins. So that's like that's like 7 because they have the same birthday.
Mike Conley's the only one that's starting.
Yeah, they're all role guys.
Yeah.
So, and look, Jimmy's on the cousin. We want to quibble about the night, but the point is, like, look, this is you're seeing right now, young league play games. Boston, New York, OKC, Minnesota, Denver. These guys play, and
even Anthony Davis is playing now.
I know, crazy. But
that's the, if you're the representatives of Jimmy Butler and you seeing this, don't you have to be careful with throwing numbers at a situation? Because here, let's put it this way. Say if they say Jimmy's the heart and soul, Jimmy's playing a lot of minutes, he's doing this. Are we paying him for what he can bring us in the next 2 years? Or are we paying him for what he's done? Because I can tell you for a fact, Pat Riley ain't paying nobody for what they've done.
Definitely not.
And he ain't paying for service. He ain't giving a service contract. If he wouldn't give a service contract to D Wade for $20 million, he ain't giving one for $60 million to nobody.
Especially coming up at 37, because when D-Wade was 37, he was making the minimum.
Right.
Which is incredible.
Right. So I don't know. And this,
I hope he got some back checks on like those Vice jerseys that he, because he sold a lot of them.
For sure.
It's got to be, cooler heads have to prevail, because Jimmy might be a little hot in the britches about what was said. And Pat Riley, he's got to do whatever he can to put a team out there that can be competitive all year. Because you can't keep living in the play-in. You can't.
Yeah, I think that, people are like, well, I don't think Jimmy likes what Pat Riley says, but I do think that Jimmy's been a guy that I do think respects Pat Riley very much. But I think what's going to piss Jimmy off, right or wrong, is going to be when Bam gets his extension and he doesn't. But that's what I think is going to piss him off, because that's what
piss him off, though.
Because it's pissed him off at every stop. That's
they're in different. They're in different. Like, see, but back then here. Back then they were about the same age, right? This is a different scenario.
I'm not disagreeing.
Jimmy's damn near 10 years older than Bam.
I'm not disagreeing. It's a different scenario, but that's what's going to piss him off. It's not Pat Riley's words. It's going to be the organization's action.
I don't think it'll piss him off if Bam gets it. I think if it's somebody else, I don't think if Bam gets his extension, it'll piss him off. Because Bam is the future of the Heat.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I get it. They're in different positions, and Jimmy's pretty much said it.
Yeah. I mean,
and these guys are going to be good long after I'm gone.
Pat Riley came away yesterday. He hosed down Jimmy, Tyler, even UD got the business. Bam, smelling like a rose. Loves him.
Well, I mean,
deserves it.
But can you come on, man. Just think about what those injuries and the situation it put Bam in. Right? And I know it was unfortunate. And I'm not saying that they faked it or didn't want to play.
I think it's, I think it's also it's the ancillary stuff too. And maybe this stuff matters to them more than it should. But it's Bam will do every interview. Bam will do everything the Heat asks. Bam is a Heat guy. And Jimmy kind of has his own thing. Jimmy will do the Heat stuff that he is minimally required to do. And then it's well, I'll do, the TNT interviews. I'll do the Hulu commercials. I'll do all that stuff. Will I talk to Bally all year? No.
But from a team perspective, that's part of it.
It wears on you. Like
Right.
it's not like it shouldn't be a big deal, but like
You know what this is like?
you're gonna do one walk-off interview with the local broadcast this year. One, like
Think
for all
about this. You know what this looks like? When OBJ came down and was on the boat in the bye week.
right. How do you
It,
think
it shouldn't have anything? It shouldn't have anything to do with the performance on Sunday, but everybody made it about that, including all the talking heads on ESPN.
Right. And knowing, like, we get it. You're coming off of an injury, but like, wow. All right. Your first things that as soon as it's all over is, would have won with me. Well, I'm going to go party at F1 with and be in a race car. And Pat Riley's sitting here telling you at 80 years old, how did he reflect on the loss?
Tequila.
That he went to a bar, or he went to his bar, poured tequila
He just
in the wee hours of the morning with the game on mute and just watched Boston throttle his team yet again like he didn't know what happened the first time.
So you best know once that tequila started talking. So he's sitting there sipping on that tequila and that bottle sitting there talking to him. You know, you got a lot of guys missing some games. I know tequila. Saying that Tyler Hero is fragile.
He goes,
yes, tequila. Yes, he is. And that Jimmy, did you see Jimmy on that horse? I did tequila.
I did tequila. Hey, Pat, hey, you know what this tequila and what's being held in and Tyler Hero have in common? What's that, tequila? We're being held by glass. Fragile.
He said, hey, tequila, let me tell you a little joke. What do you and Tyler Hero have in common? Your infrastructures are supported by glass.
Oh, man. Take a break.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but you have to understand this is old school thinking. But present day school thinking is when you look at all the teams that are currently playing and look at all the games played, you can't even evaluate your team with the amount of games missed by your players. You can't, you don't know what you have. Yeah, so you may make changes to a team that could possibly be good enough, but you'll never know.
Well, that was the one thing I got. Like, hey, listen, if he's trying to sway me on no major changes next year, you got another thing coming, Godfather. I hope he's lying. Back after this.